Hey,
You guys
everybody.
remember us?
Hey, we're back.
We don't
We're
even know how to
back.
start a
Hey,
show
everybody.
anymore. We just talk over each other.
Our chemistry is gone. Hi, everybody. My name is Matthew Roth. I'm joined as usual, always, whenever we do this, Sean Rueter. You can reach me on Twitter at MattRoth512. You can reach Sean on Twitter at at S1Rude. Uh,
Been a while.
This is Cageside Live. This is Cageside Live. We're post showing Hell in a Cell. So it's been like a month. Sean and I were kind of going over the timeline, and if it hasn't been exactly a month, it's close. Like it's been pretty close to a month since we've actually done this show. Here's the thing, guys. I love doing a show. Sean loves doing a show. Football takes precedence on Mondays. Sean's a Steelers fan, and I'm a Cowboys fan. So if you're looking forward to a show tomorrow night, don't. The Cowboys are playing the Washington Redskins, and you're doing the Damian Mizdow, and I appreciate that.
That's right. That's what I'm
Uh,
here for. I'm your stunt double. That's my calling.
it's done double. No, but you know what? We're going to try and do this show more often, more regularly. But again, personal lives, real lives takes precedence over Cageside Live.
And I will also tell you, I don't like coming on and bitching about stuff nonstop. And if we had done post Raw shows the last 3 weeks,
Oh,
last week I didn't watch it. I had it on the picture-in-picture while I was watching my Steelers, but I mean, I would have just been shitting all over it. So this is actually better for you. I'm a little refreshed. I'm ready to go. I'm relatively, for the most part, positive about tonight's experience. We got a lot to talk about, but you know, we all need to enjoy WWE on our own sometimes, and then come back together as a family.
right. And
I don't know
again,
what I'm talking about.
sometimes the WWE just disappoints. And when they do, I know that you guys appreciate Geno time, and every so often when I'm able to put together a promo, or when Sean's able to put together a promo about how angry we are at the product. But look, at the end of the day, it's just guys just wrestling around their underwear, and I'd rather have fun with it as opposed to being actually really annoyed. So, yeah. Anyway,
Hell in a Cell.
with that intro out of the way, Sean, before we actually get into actually breaking down all the matches, what were your thoughts on just the overall card?
I mean, like I said, I thought it was a good show. I didn't have, I mean, comparing it to your average Raw, I wasn't sitting here going, boy, why am I doing this? Or when is this going to be over? I mean, I thought it had good, I didn't, boy, I mean, here's how good, how much I liked the show overall. I didn't spend any time sitting there thinking which was my least favorite match of the night, which I often do. And even now, I don't really have an answer. I liked something about every match on the card, I think. Well, maybe
There,
not Cena Orton, but
there were some matches that legitimately stole the show, and that was multiple matches.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was, I mean, for a show that had kind of a weird build to it outside of the main event, what actually ended up being the main event, I thought it delivered.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was one of their best pay-per-views, top to bottom. Everybody really delivered. We'll get into it, but there were some matches that I could have done without, but because of things that needed to be on the card. Anyway, let's break it down. First
Let's do it.
match, pre-show, Mark Henry versus Bo Dallas. This was a nice little pre-show match.
Yeah,
What it was. It was good.
gets you warmed up. I mean, anything that lets Bo Dallas talk is all right with me. I'm the NXT mark. I didn't really need the Ebola joke. That's not really funny. Um, but it was just he didn't actually say Ebola, and it was just sort of a throwaway. I laughed out loud for the I'm ashamed to have your city name as my last name line, and then calling himself Bo Washington. He's just a goof, and I love him, and he got squashed like he should have tonight, and that's just a little pre-show warm-up match.
Yeah, and after the match when he was like, "You cheated. You didn't win with honor. I'm now 5-0 against you." Like that was funny. Like
That's he's the winner in the game of life. I mean, that's why we all believe.
Yeah, look, this isn't a it's not a great opening match. There wasn't like, oh hey, a ton of work, but anytime that Mark Henry's on the screen, I love it. I love Mark Henry so much. Like
It was good. Yeah. I mean, I thought I was in and out. Speaking of football again, the Steelers game was ending, so I was picturing the whole pre-show. But I thought the whole thing was pretty well put together. The Mizdow TV segment was fun. They teased
oh
the
man, that was incredible. The
um,
Mizdow thing, it's really becoming apparent that Damian Sandow, Mizdow, whatever you want to call him, uh, is basically the best wrestler on the roster, and he's not actually wrestling anyone.
yeah. I mean, I mean, if we want to be smarky and call them performers, I mean, he's nailing it. I mean, I've made a couple comments. I don't even know it was in like posts or something this week. I mean, I don't know anybody who is not entertained by what he's doing right now. And even like a guy that everybody loves, you can find people that don't like Cesaro. You can find people that, I mean, I'm not the biggest Dolph Ziggler fan. We all disagree on stuff, but I don't know anybody who's like, man, this Sandow stuff sucks. Get it off my screen. Everybody's entertained by what he's doing right now.
Because Damian Sandow's killing it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What he's doing, and they're slow building to a breakup, and I love that.
I'm gonna cry when they break up because it is. I just smile when they're on screen together because Miz is doing. I mean, he's being overshadowed, but he's doing great stuff too. His like reaction to Mizdow winning on Monday night was great.
No. You mean himself winning?
Right, of course. I'm sorry. You're right.
That was like it's so goofy and it works. And honestly, we're jumping around, but that Mizdow TV was so good. Especially because it really did tease like a breakup, like it's like the opening parts of a breakup, going like, when I beat him last week, and just the Miz getting so mad, it worked on so many levels.
And maybe it's because Miz is really just a douchebag who thinks he's an A-lister, but he's really a D-lister. But I mean, he's just great in that character too. I mean, I don't want to see them break up, but it's going to be great when they break up.
Oh, for sure. Anyway.
And I also thought, I mean, they did it for, I mean, the magic of having fucking Paul Heyman on your panel as opposed to having Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan or whatever they've been doing lately. I mean, Heyman just made all of that watchable. His joking around with Booker T. I don't really need Alex Riley's keys to victory. What has that dude ever won? Why is he telling me how Seth Rollins should wrestle? But
that was actually really. I thought it was funny because, like, I watched the UFC, and that's like keys to the octagon, and that's what the UFC does.
Yeah.
And it's very funny that like.
I think the graphic was even similar, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. like this was them going like, no, this is a real cage fight.
Yeah.
And here's what he must do to win. It was so stupid and it was so good. Like when they do shit like this, I love it because one, we're not getting pre-shows anymore.
Right.
That sucks because that was some of the best stuff that they were doing on the network. But also like, hey, you're actually doing some really good stuff with some really good, like Renee Young's great, Booker T kind of okay, and when you get like Paul, as you said, Paul Heyman, it's magic.
Yeah, really. I mean, yep. I mean, even when the pre-shows aren't good, I mean, it's a value-add thing for the network that they, it's nice to see them do it every once in a while, and this is a good formula for it. So.
Mm-hmm. Especially when we do get something like Ric Flair, who just he's incoherent at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's stuff like that. Like I said, him and like when they had Hogan on, that wasn't even a pre-show. That was like some hyping Cena thing. But it's like they don't even watch the show. They get some It's like Lawler, but in a different setting. They don't really seem like they know what's going on. They have a couple talking points, and then they just do their shtick that isn't even coherent anymore. And yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference to have guys who care and pay attention and all that jazz.
Anyway, pay-per-view starts. We get our first match. Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro. 2 out of 3 falls match. This was a great match. I could watch these guys wrestle they got what, like 15 minutes. I would be happy if they gave them like 45, an hour. I don't care. Like they have such good chemistry in the ring. Dolph Ziggler was booked extremely strong.
Mm-hmm.
Cesaro was always great. This was this was a great way to kick off the pay-per-view.
It was a great match. The mark in me is still a little upset about it. I mean, they didn't bury Cesaro or anything. He sold the arm, and he got a couple of really impressive spots in. I mean, the superplex thing, they took a little while to set it up. You knew it was coming, but God, it was a great spot. So he looked like a beast, but it's just they're finally booking Ziggler strong. They're finally treating the Intercontinental title like it means something. But in order to do that, they have to sort of shit on Cesaro a little bit more. And in already a year full of shitting on Cesaro.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. It was great and entertaining, but frustrating.
Yeah, what I will say is that I appreciated the way that they're now setting up the zigzag, or how they set it up tonight with the super kick to go in the zigzag, because the zigzag's a really dumb finisher. It's possibly the dumbest one on the roster, but it's believable when you get super kicked in the face and then get that, like, it's a good combination, and they worked it out, like, flawlessly. That superplex, I can watch Cesaro do that all day long. Really, like, superplex people, like deadlifting superplexes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the counter where he was going for it out of the one arm bar and he didn't get it, just the fact that he lifted Dolph up was just like, Jesus.
It was crazy. How strong is this man?
I know, and that's what I mean. That's one of the things. I guess the the word on the sheets on the screens is that, like, Vince doesn't get him. He's one of the guys that Vince doesn't get, and I guess it's just because he doesn't look like a strong man, but he's fucking the strongest guy they've had maybe ever.
Yeah.
So just book him like he was bigger. Like just pretend he was bigger, Vince.
Yeah. He doesn't look like Rusev, and he doesn't look like, John Cena. So he's not a strong a strong guy. And the reality is he's stronger than literally probably everyone on the roster except for Mark Henry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, one thing. I mean, it's good that they did the and this has been kind of a theme this year because they did the Shield versus Evolution elimination match. We never see, like, the clean sweeps in those. You never see 2 out of 3 falls matches being ended in 2. So this is good. So we probably won't see these for a while. They'll be like, we threw those at you, now we'll go back to doing the way we always do it, which is 1 here, 1 there. But
And now Ziggler, I don't. The big thing for me is, what did they do with Ziggler now? Because, like, he now got booked extremely short for years, and the only guy really in the hunt for, like, one of the secondary titles is Rusev.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, BMF 1314 in the thread points out that I said that. I mean, we say they're booking Ziggler strong, and they booked him strong tonight. He has lost on like 5 straight shows leading up to this, so
that's true.
We'll see. Like you said, though, it depends on what they do from here. It's amazing what making him look really great on a pay-per-view and making the belt. I wasn't that into this match coming into the weekend because they announced it on Friday and all that stuff, but they did that great promo video and. I was into it. They built it up, but they got to do it for more than a night. So we'll see what happens with either of these guys next.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, they could do this. They could do this match again. Now they're running into the issue of they don't have any other contenders for the secondary titles. You can keep doing Miz and Sheamus if you want. I wouldn't. But that just means that Rusev is going to fight Dolph Ziggler, and I think that the character makes more sense if it's going to be going after the U.S. title.
Right, and I really want to see, as much as I would like to see Dolph versus Rusev at some point, I really want to see Sheamus versus Rusev.
Exactly, because Sheamus is working better than he ever had.
That is a capital H Haas fight right there. So.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna kill it. Like that's like a 15-20 minute Haas fight that you can have, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Rusev can get great matches out of Henry and Show, I mean, not great, but good matches, I mean, he can give him somebody he can really work with, and it should be awesome.
Well, I mean, he did it with Big E Langston.
Yeah, yep.
So anyway, this was one of my this was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Not even probably it was. It was one of my favorite matches of the night. Um, it was a hell of an opener. It was the
Yep.
way that they should have opened the show, and that they did open the show.
Yep. Agreed.
Next match, Brie Bella versus Nikki Bella in the personal assistant match.
I don't know. Maybe it was goodwill hangover from the previous match, but I didn't mind this. I thought they busted their asses. I mean, they went after some spots. I mean, Brie did a fucking suicide dive. I mean, God love them.
Look,
What are you gonna do?
I know that we don't talk about this on the show because we're a bunch of men that love women, but yeah, Nikki Bella looks good.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just. I mean, we're doing this as respectfully as possible. But at some point, I was thinking this tonight. Because for the longest time in my wrestling watching adult male heterosexual life, I had thought that Brie was the hotter Bella, and somewhere in like the last year or so, that totally flipped for me. Like whatever it is, whoever designs Nikki's little shorts, I don't know. She's just smoking hot these days.
She's smoking hot,
And the fact that she can put you on her shoulders and just fucking break you in half, that sort of turns me on. I won't lie.
she's actually like I said it on Twitter. She's developing like into a pretty solid power power female wrestler, which doesn't exist on the main roster. We have Charlotte in NXT, which is kind of doing something similar, but she's the only one on the main roster doing any sort of power moves, and it's amazing.
Yeah, Paige tries them every once in a while because I think Paige is kind of sneaky strong too, but that's not really her style. Her style is more just sort of like crazy vicious.
Right.
But I mean, Nikki does them the most convincingly too.
Yeah, and like it looks good when she does them. Like the rack attack's a good finisher for her.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's the thing, Brie not bad in the ring. She's vastly improved.
Yeah, true. I will give her that.
She just has a lot of problems when it comes to things like emoting. And
what did she? Gino brought it up on Twitter. Why did she scream "Hi Dallas" before she did the suicide or whatever? I mean, it's like she doesn't understand. She's the anti-Mark Henry. She's like the anti-AJ Lee. She does like the wrestling moves pretty well, and then like all of the character stuff and the talking, it's all horrible.
She does wrestling moves better than AJ Lee, and she just doesn't understand anything else about the business. And here's the thing, like credit to her and her sister, because before they left the WWE, they were atrocious.
Oh yeah, they were really bad. They were like Oksana versus Cameron bad. At least that's how I remember it. It was unwatchable if they had to wrestle.
It was terrible. And so like, look, Brie Bella is never going to be Daniel Bryan, but she's developed into something useful, except for when she has to talk. Like if she doesn't have to talk and she just can just wrestle, like every other female on the roster that isn't Paige or AJ, like she could round out that female roster pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. So now we already got. Not to jump around too much, we won't talk about it for long. We already got our first Nikki bullying Brie as her personal assistant thing. They did add, they said something about like if she's not her personal assistant, then she has to quit the WWE thing. I don't know if they're going to try to work that into the story. Again, the story isn't terribly interesting to me here, but it is what it is.
It's not bad.
Sisters hate each other. Total divas.
That's basically it. But you know what? This was a solid match. Maybe my expectations were low, but I was happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they didn't botch anything. I mean, they tried some. They're pushing their game forward a little bit. They're trying different moves, bigger moves, and like I said, as long as they're not trying to awkwardly scream things at each other, I can watch them wrestle for 5 minutes. So.
Yeah. Next up, Usos versus Dust Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The Usos desperately need a character.
Yeah.
Jonathan Snowden made the comment on Twitter, and I agree. He said something along the lines of the Usos are quietly making a case for being the best tag team of all time, and everything is there except they have no character. They have none. Like their in-ring work is amazing. Like that's why for the past year and a half we've been getting 6-man tag matches, because they're amazing tag team wrestlers, and they understand spots, and they're very, very good. There's no character to them. They're just brothers. There's brothers that wear face paint and shorts.
I mean, to me, they're the same problem that we have with Sheamus and with, I mean, they're good guys who are good wrestlers, and they don't even bother to like mix up. It's more than just that they don't have characters. They don't have reasons to be fighting anybody. They've been in feud after feud after feud where there's no. I mean, it's for the titles, but the titles don't mean a lot, and there's no like real heat there. And so we get, I mean, like this, yeah, I enjoyed that match. Am I going to remember anything about it tomorrow? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
I mean, I don't remember that much about it now, other than that I liked it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Every single one of their matches that they've had in the past year and a half has been amazing. And I can say that pretty definitively. That they've never fucked up a match. Every single one of their matches that they've had has been very, very good. I just can't remember anything about them. And it's not because every single one of those matches is the same. It's because there's nothing about the Usos that's memorable.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give me a reason to care, and I guess if you're at a live show and you're 10 years old, the fact that they chant and dance is memorable, but it doesn't work for me at this point. And the fact, we talked about this after Night of Champions. Who are they going to feud? Who are the Dust Brothers going to feud with next? And the answer is, after a bunch of 6-man tags that mix in other feuds, they're going to go right back to the Usos. And I don't see any difference. I mean, we'll probably get this match again at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So unless they're put on the Survivor Series teams, I don't know. We'll see what.
No, they're going to be Survivor Series teams, because that's what these guys are great in major teaming.
Yeah, and then maybe we won't see it for a few months, because they'll put them in a 5-on-5 at Survivor Series, and then they'll all be in the Rumble. But then we'll get it again at Elimination Chamber or whatever they're going to call that.
I'll even tell you the Survivor Series teams. It's going to be the Dust Brothers with Mizdow and The Miz and Cesaro against Sheamus and Ziggler and the Usos and Kofi Kingston.
A Kofi sighting. The only thing is, if they put all the mid-card guys...
That doesn't sound stupid to say that.
No, it doesn't, but the only problem is if you do all that, then that's like every mid-card feud, then how do you fill out the card?
Right.
You're probably not going to have Brock there, so you already don't have a title match. I don't know. It's kind of a... They somehow managed to pull it off, but it's going to end up being... maybe they'll do double duty. They'll do that, and they'll have a tag title match. That'll be Dust Brothers versus Usos again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? Anyway, this wasn't a bad match. It was actually a very entertaining match. It was just one of those matches that it was forgettable.
Yep.
Which sucks, because it was actually a good match.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no story behind it. There's no reason to really care. The belts aren't treated like they actually are anything other than props, which that's all they are, but it'd be nice if they were meaningful props.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no tiers of on NXT the last couple of weeks since the last live special. They've actually been introducing these tag teams of guys that you recognize, you know who they are, and they get to go like 5 minutes against the top teams. So they're not jobbers, but they're actual enhancement talent. So you're like, oh, I know those guys. And oh, look, they gave Lucha Dragons a good match and they lost. That's what WWE doesn't have anything of in the mid card or in the tag team. So there's no way to. Nobody can climb the ladder to get to where the Dust Brothers and the Usos are, because it's just so frustrating. It's not hard to do.
And here's the thing: Lucha Dragons probably ready for the main roster.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could bring. I mean, how long have we been predicting an Ascension call up for? What, 6 months now?
Yep. And it's not going to happen until
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
4, 3, whatever the next takeover it's going to be.
Yeah, December 11th or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Because they
take over 9.
Because they need to have Kenta versus and Fergal Devitt versus the Ascension. That's what they're
Yep.
building towards.
Spoiler
Spoiler.
alert, but yeah.
But like that's what they're building towards. And so we're not going to get any NXT call-ups until December, which is
Yep.
crazy because you actually have a whole bunch of people that are ready.
Yep, and you could use a whole bunch of people, but anyway.
Yeah. It's not my company
Nope. And we keep watching anyway, so
because we're a bunch of marks.
that's it.
We got Randy Orton and John Cena number 4,000.
It's funny. It's funny to me. They gave us the whole, the Frazier Ali video package and everything. What is it about these guys? Because they're both good pro wrestlers. Why do they have? How could you have zero chemistry? I mean, it's just everything is just like now we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this. There's no flow. I never get excited. I don't understand. It's like paint by numbers epic match, but not quote unquote epic.
I mean, we've won the big problem is that we've seen the match. Shit. 4,000 times, 5,000 times.
Well, this is like the 10th or something time they've fought on pay-per-view. I think. I don't know. There were some stats flying around this week. Yeah, it's a lot.
They're always doing this match, and so like, it's very. There's a difference between how like the Usos and the Rhodes brothers are laying out their matches and how these guys are laying out their matches because in the tag matches they're being completely different every single time. You've got the same spots and whatever, but there's just something different every single time. And these guys it's like whoever's the producer and on this match always has it in their head that you're gonna trade finishers 10 times.
Yeah.
And that will make it really, really epic and build. And it's like, no, just give me an epic match. We've seen it. John Cena can work many different styles, and Randy Orton, he's one of the most technical guys on the roster. And they can't do it. They have no idea how to do it. They have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they did like stuff that should be cool. That the RKO reversal out of sort of a inverted RKO reversal out of the AA. That should be cool.
But
the stair spot should be cool. I mean,
we're waiting for all these to happen.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh man, like the RKO out of nowhere. Look, you know what? If you're really game plan for your opponent, you're not gonna throw that weird ass punch after John Cena hits you with 2 shoulder blocks. Right. And here's the thing: you face John Cena 4,000 times, so you clearly know that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I guess there's so many problems with this. It was obviously thrown together at the last minute. And they counted on history, which the history isn't good. They counted on that making it matter. They added the stipulation, which now we're going to get Lesnar Cena 4. Everybody excited?
Super stoked.
It's a fresh new matchup. I mean, at this point, I'm honestly I get the feeling they're going to put Cena over Lesnar, and then Brock isn't going to resign. I have a weird feeling that's. I don't know if he's going back to UFC or if he's just going to go back to Minnesota and watch girls volleyball games, but I don't know.
Is that what he's doing now?
Gino posted that picture from somebody's Twitter. Yeah, he went to a University of Minnesota girls volleyball game this week.
Okay, so that's what he's doing.
It's the rare Brock Lesnar personal appearance, and it was like sitting with 4 other people in a college gym watching girls volleyball. So so we got that. So there's no way to get excited about that. It didn't even seem like it looked like. I mean, Cena was obviously calling spots at one point, so they didn't even have it planned out that well. You've got all this. We were worried that they were going to overkill the RKO Vines thing. It turns out they just pretty much did nothing with it. He had Raw where he got to hit it on some people, but you got a chance to really maybe get some excitement going and have him win this match with a memorable RKO spot, and you don't do that. Whatever, man. I mean, it's pretty fucking bad when you have us begging for Randy Orton to win so we can get some new matchups.
And that's really what it is. Like, they're teasing a Randy Orton face turn. Why not start it tonight?
Yeah.
Because like he'd have to be the face against Brock Lesnar. And here's the thing: have him beat Brock Lesnar, and then Seth Rollins cash in on him. Perfect. There you go. I just wrote your storyline that already makes sense in the storyline.
Yep.
I don't know. This was the one match, and we said before in the beginning of the show that like there's very little to be angry about. This actually was the match that got me mad.
Yeah, I didn't get mad. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, I just get to. I mean, Cena comes on my screen, and I recognize that he's good at some things. He's not targeted at me, and my eyes sort of glaze over. That's not what I'm watching for, so I end up not paying that much attention to it.
Also, you know what? Props to Randy Orton for taking those whatever sidewalk slams onto the steel steps. Like,
Yeah.
Those he doesn't have to do those. He doesn't have to do those anymore. Like,
No.
You're in the locker room. You don't have to do that anymore, man.
Well, at least he did something that made it feel like it was, wasn't just an average match, because there did not need to be a cage around these guys.
No, like that's the thing. They did nothing that the Hell in a Cell-ish.
Mm-mm. No, it could have just been for the title shot in a regular ring, but they've completely, as much as the main event tried to do something special later on and did succeed in a lot of ways, they've just devalued the concept of it. But it's a match like this with no build, where we just say, you know what, we decided we want to have 2 Hell in a Cell matches on the pay-per-view named Hell in a Cell, so you guys go in there, and that's why people don't think it's special anymore. That's why Ambrose and Rollins have to work their asses off before the match even starts to remind you that it's special.
You know what match would have been awesome in the Hell in a Cell? Ziggler and Ziggler and Cesaro.
Yeah, and that with the right. I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a build to it, but they could have used the hell out of the stipulation. That's for sure. I mean, I think you could have put Paige and AJ in a cell just for have the last two matches be in the cell. I don't know if it would have been great, but it would have at least been historic. It'd be the first women's match in a cell, and they did some more vicious things on the outside of the ring than anything Cena and Orton really did.
Yeah. Anyway, this wasn't a bad match. It was just I've seen it.
It was Cena Orton 127. You've seen it before.
It was a match at this point.
And guess who wins? LOL.
LOL.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
It was good that they didn't make this the main event, because people would have shit all over it. People are mad about the main event as it is. We would have been rioting if this had closed the show.
Oh my God! Like
and Dallas would be rioting too, probably.
Yes. What I was surprised at is that they didn't have it close the show. I was kind of surprised at that.
I was too. I went into tonight fully expecting it to be the final match. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next up that we got, it was a backstage segment of Big Show shadow boxing.
Because you need those. Every show needs that.
He's terrible at shadow boxing. Like here's the thing, Big Show. Like, you're not a boxer. You're not a UFC fighter. Like, I'm not believing that you shadow box, and it looks so bad. And then, like, what he said, the funniest thing to me was he goes, "We're gonna jump on my bus and we're gonna go to Silsbee, Texas, and we're gonna get some barbecue." Motherfucker! It like right now in Austin, in Texas, 10:45.
Yeah.
There's no barbecue open in Texas after 9:30 on a Sunday. Also, most of the barbecue places sold out of their barbecue on a Sunday around 3 p.m.
They were any good. That's what I said. Maybe he went to the Wendy's drive-thru with Stone Cold and got some of that pulled pork. I don't know, but yeah.
I would have laughed though if he said we're gonna go to a taco truck, because that would have been funny. Like, they could have actually followed them to a taco truck and just watched Big Show order 400 like tacos al pastor.
They should have had him go to IHOP or something. I mean, keep it real. Get some marketing tie-ins too. I'm available. WWE, hire me. Come on.
We got the performance of the night with Miz versus Sheamus and the Miz though at ringside.
Yes.
The match was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, it was solid, but it was. Yeah, there wasn't anything to write
But
home about. It was.
holy shit, Miz sounds so good, so good. He actually ended
Yeah.
up doing a Miz Dow's awesome chant. Nobody cared about the match. It was just Damien Sandow just getting a chant for doing all the mimicking in the world.
And it's the same thing. I mean, like you said earlier. I mean, that's and as soon as they do the Mizdow chant, Miz starts raising his arms like they're cheering for him, like he doesn't realize it. It's
Yeah,
the two of them get the shtick that they're doing, which is nice to see.
I did also appreciate Mizdow locking himself in the ropes and for the what's
Yes,
it called?
the 10 beats of the Browery or whatever.
Like that was amazing. That was such a good gimmick. Whole thing. Like,
Yeah, he's figuring out new ways to take it to the next level too. Yeah. That was great. I love when for the final spot when Miz was going up top and taunting Sheamus when Sandow climbed the stairs and did the exact same thing. I mean, I'm watching him. I'm sure like everybody else in the crowd, you're watching him, not the action. So
which also
wonderful.
has to be kind of a pain in the ass to the guys in the ring.
Yeah, but they're in on the act too. I mean, if anybody should be really, I mean, Sheamus is sort of the lost guy here, but he got in on the fun at the end too. So.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it, but the pre-show where Mizdow is actually mimicking like the Miz's responses.
Yes.
Actually talking to him. That was amazing. We're saying it, and like, I hope that the WWE doesn't ruin this because this clearly is one of the best things that they have going right now, and it feels like they have an opportunity to do something really organic, which it feels organic right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to get I don't want this to become fandangoing.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I'm trying to not get concerned. It's another reason why I don't want them to break up. One, because I enjoy what they're doing so much, but I don't know what if they feud and Mizdow wins the feud, then what is? I mean, at this point I trust Damien Sandow, the performer, to own whatever they give him next, but he's not going to be stunt doubling the Miz anymore, obviously. So. So that's part of my concern is like I don't know where that's cool because this is a new thing that we haven't seen a million times before in wrestling. So it's let them do this, but I don't know how this spins out into Damien Sandow solo wrestler again. But
I don't know, man, but I'm on board with it.
Yep, I'm excited to see it happen.
All right. So next was Brie Bella loading Nikki's shit into a car.
Mm-hmm. Getting a shake dropped on her head because that's comedy gold.
That was it. That was the entire segment. It's good. You know what, man? I'm really excited to rewatch and relive this in 6 months on Total Divas.
Yes. Oh, it'll be good. Total Divas was on tonight, wasn't it? Didn't they? They somehow worked it so like their season finale was opposite their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You guys are geniuses.
And the best part, so I follow Eva Marie on Instagram.
Of course you do.
There's no mention of Hell in a Cell on her Instagram at all. Just my wedding episode, like her wedding episode was tonight.
It was funny for a while because I follow Natty, and she was like trying to live tweet both of them at once. So one of her tweets would be about like Cena Orton, and then the next one would be about like, oh my God, no, she didn't. Yeah. Poor girl. I can't wait to see the ratings. I think they were down last week. I'm sure they'll be in the shitter this week.
Oh my God, it's confusing. And like, is it all a shoot that Natty and Tyson Kidd are actually having problems?
I think so. I mean, I would think somewhere on the dirt screen somebody would have reported if he had really moved out of their house or something. Yeah. I don't know. I actually didn't realize that was a Total Diva story until like later last week. So.
Yeah, like that's a whole that's a real a story that they're going towards divorce, and that's weird.
Yeah, I don't
watch on TV.
Well, as long as it happens on Main Event too, because I guess that's where Tyson's been wrestling these days, and he's
off NXT now.
He was back for one match. I think he's still. he's around. He doesn't really have a storyline right now. I mean, he could
Yeah.
easily plug back into a couple of things, but I think they're actually like doing like he and Natty like chirp at each other during like they come out for each other's matches and get little squabbles at ringside shit on main event. So now Reverend Kane says his sources tell him that the divorce thing is kayfabe. So I trust the Rev.
If I can't trust what's happening on reality television,
I know, right? What's next? Somebody's gonna tell me pro wrestling is fake.
Can't believe it, man.
Unbelievable.
Next up, we got Rusev and Big Show. Look, Rusev carried Big Show through a serviceable match.
Rusev is good. I like to see him scream crazy shit. I like to see him. He's one of the best selling big men that I can remember. And I was shocked that we didn't get the Mark Henry heel turn. I'd been predicting that since basically last month. So I thought
we were gonna get it tonight, especially when he came out and Big Show was came outside the ring to roll Rusev in. I thought we were gonna get a heel turn, and it was either that he was going to attack Mark Henry or he was going to attack Rusev and cost Big Show.
Right, the accidental.
But both of those would have made sense, and we would have had like Big Show Mark Henry 4, but it would have actually been the correct time to turn him.
Yeah, and but they didn't. Instead they went with Rusev kicked both of their heads off, which talk about a guy that's getting booked strong. I mean, we all assume he's eventually getting fed to Cena, but maybe not. Who knows? Right now, he's a beast.
We did get
they're protecting him.
We got the Dallas screw job because Big Show never tapped out.
Right. The refs are just concerned. They don't want to see this Russian kill people like Apollo.
That's really what it is. They're just like, we can't have this guy hurting people, so we're just gonna stop the match when we think that needs to be stopped.
I don't know. You think they're gonna storyline that, and we're gonna get another Big Show match?
Yeah, we're getting more Big Show.
Or was that just sloppy refereeing?
No, we're getting another Big Show match.
Oh yay!
And that's when we're gonna get the Mark Henry heel turn.
Probably, you're probably right. They can't help themselves.
Dude, they can't get out of their own way.
Or they're expecting Henry to get injured between now and then. He's been healthy for a while. It's unlike him.
He lost weight, man.
He did. He looked good in those jeans coming out there this week.
Dude, those were like skinny jeans.
I'm telling you, he's the next Batista.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Especially when he comes out in just a pair of trunks and just blue armbands.
And a nose piercing, a little nose piercing,
and a belly button tattoo.
Oh, Dave Batista, come back! We miss you.
Please.
Who can we make fun of when you're not here?
Yo, so you're a comic book nerd, and we aside right now. Guardians of the Galaxy is now the #3 top grossing Marvel movie of all time.
That's crazy. I thought it was going to do well, but I didn't know.
It's a throwaway book.
Yeah, I mean it was a good movie though. It's like the Damien Sandow of the Marvel universe. They were like, whatever, go out there and try this, and they fucking nailed it. So
perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
And we may never see Dave Batista again as a result. So
because now, like, I said this to a buddy, and then we'll talk back about wrestling, but every single person that's involved in Marvel, like, if you have a decent agent, you have to negotiate some back end points because whatever they're paying you up front is not going to be enough for how much your movies are making at this point.
Oh no, and that's the Downey Jr. model. I mean, what did he say? He said they had to cut him like a $50 million check for Avengers or something.
Yeah,
they paid him peanuts up front, but he had a back end deal and he fucking cleaned up. So
yeah, like if you get cast in a movie for Marvel, just be like, no, look, I'll take $500,000 up front, but I want X amount of money in the back end because you're gonna get so much fucking money.
Yep. At this point, they just have to put the Marvel name on it, and people will go to the theater. Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
Wrestling.
But we miss you, Dave.
Please come back.
We miss you, Drax.
Miss you. AJ Lee versus Paige, and it's good.
This is another one. I wish I cared about this feud. I mean, maybe I'm old-fashioned or something, but if one of these girls was an actual heel, I know Paige has been a little bit more heelish, but AJ's just a jerk who just turns on her tag team partners and stuff too. I mean, I don't like either one of these characters, so I don't really care when they fight.
There's no characters. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, they were gay for each other for a little while, and then they stopped that, and now I mean, Alicia, did they ever explain why Alicia and Paige stopped feuding while AJ was gone and then became friends, and now they're going to feud again? I mean, I know, I don't know.
Nope, they didn't. They did nothing. They did nothing. It was just a match.
Yeah, I mean, they tried, they did, I mean, the spot where, and Paige took a bump off the barricade that looked really painful, and AJ was throwing her little self all around out there. It's not always crisp, but she tries, and like I said, and she's the opposite of Brie. I mean, she gets all the characters, what little character stuff they give her, though. But she emotes correctly, and she yells stuff that doesn't sound ridiculous. But I don't. I mean. So yeah, so then we had, and AJ's still Divas champ, and now Paige is going to feud with Alicia. And if it's really true that you can't have the belt and be on Total Divas, that means that AJ's going to have to feud with Emma now, I guess. I don't know who else is left. It's not.
Can't wait. And here's the thing. AJ's not AJ's not a good wrestler. Like she's good at selling. She looks like she gets killed every single time and she takes it. She's not a good wrestler. Like she's not a good wrestler at all.
She's good at that. She's good at that sales. The one sell that where you look like you get shot out of a cannon by a move.
Right.
And I'm a big. I mean, I'm an AJ Mark. I think she's great. I mean, I love her. I love her character. I've told the story before a bunch of different places. My goddaughter used to watch her and I think she's a great role model, except for when she's on WWE kayfabe television. But like the stuff she says in real life and everything is great. Love her. But yeah, she's okay. She can't hold a candle to like any of the women in NXT right now as a wrestler.
No, none of them, including Alexis Bliss.
Yeah, I mean she's not that far off from Alexa Bliss, who's like head and shoulders the bottom of the NXT women's division. So
yeah.
It's but I mean I don't know what they're doing with the division. They're all the storytelling goes to the Bellas feud, and then there's just some other stuff. So at least they got a shot high up the card. They got to do some different spots. They're not trying to make out with each other anymore,
which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. I mean, I got a little warm feeling about it, but it's not good storytelling.
Nope.
So yeah, so here we go. So AJ is still the champ, and Paige is going to feud with Alicia, and I don't know what else is going on.
There's nothing else to talk about.
No, that's it. Good night, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Great show, Sean.
Welcome back, Matt.
Welcome
back,
everybody, to Cageside Live. That was our quick commercial break. We had so the final match, the main event, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. There's a lot to say about it. There's good and bad things to say about it. I don't want to focus on the bad, so we're just going to talk about the good.
We can talk about it because I'm not entirely sure it's bad, but I mean.
No, it's fine. We can go completely negative with this show. We can talk about the bad. Let's at least talk about the good first. Dean Ambrose comes out like Casey Jones, kind of stick on his back, and just fills the cell with a bunch of gimmicks, and then decides to climb the cell after saying, we're all
gonna die tonight.
That was such a good line. Line. Seth Rollins comes out, and he goes inside the cage, and then he's like, oh, you want me to come up? And then Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble come out, and they're like, nuh-uh, dude, you're not going up there. And so Seth Rollins sends them up. He sends them up to the top of the cage, and they get the shit kicked out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I think it was one of them took like a suplex off like one of the bars at the top of the cage. I was nervous that whole stretch of time. I was just scared. I thought I didn't want anybody to get hurt. I was just a little girl here.
Especially because there were moments when each segment of the cage of the roof, whatever you want to call it, was sinking really low.
Yeah, like buckled in. Yep.
And I was like, oh my god, no, no, please don't let that happen, please, because it's going to ruin the night.
And and Rollins did one of his like where he like dodges something by jumping backwards. He did one of those where he ended up landing like right near the edge, and I like had to cover my eyes. It was like I said. I mean, they reminded you right from the jump. This is why this is different. This is for fucking blood feuds. Even though you're not going to get any blood, this structure has scary history, and you should be nervous watching this. We're going to
Right.
hurt each other, and this is an environment where we can do all kinds of damage to each other. So be afraid.
Yep. They both take the bump off the cell, and even though it was halfway up the cell, it's still like a 15-foot.
Yeah, I mean
Drop.
that's still crazy.
But here's the thing: they trained to do that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
They've practiced that so many times.
You're right. And now that they actually have the performance center where both of these guys spent some time, so you can do it. You're not practicing by throwing yourself onto tables. You're practicing by throwing yourself onto big stunt bags but still, I mean, there's just a lot that can go wrong there,
I was being an
even
asshole
for
about
trained
that. I
professionals.
was being an asshole about that. I was kidding.
Well, you're right though. I mean, it's not. They didn't go out there and just on a whim decide to do that. They
Oh
were
no, I
fucking
mean,
ready.
no, they were ready for it, but
It
look,
still hurts like hell.
yeah, and the WWE does everything now with the utmost safety in mind of their performers, because those both of the announce tables were completely cleared off before
Yep.
that actually happened.
Yep.
Like before that match, they unplugged all the monitors and replaced them with just flat desktops. That was as safe as they could go with it while still actually having the danger aspect. That was awesome. Like that was awesome.
And I like that they've learned from what was it? Was it at Mania where Orton landed on the fucking monitor when they did
Yep.
I'm so glad. I mean because that's still I cringe thinking about that. He could have fucking punctured a kidney. So yeah, they had completely. Yeah, this was not one of those where the table didn't give or somebody landed on a monitor. They were completely ready for it, and good for them because
Yep.
it still looked really painful.
Oh
And
no, Seth Rollins landed super ugly on that.
he landed like on his side or something. I mean, Ambrose clearly like pushed himself off, which is it's fine. I mean, because one, it's awesome, and two, he does like to sell his headbutts, the headbutts that he gives people sometimes. So it worked. But he landed flat backed and looked all right. Yeah, Rollins came down like on his side and hit his head. And, ugh,
That was an ugly bump for Rollins.
yeah.
There was a concern for me that was the end of the match.
I didn't think it was, but they went on long enough that I was like, maybe it is. Maybe they're gonna screw us out.
That's what it was. That was what it was. Is that because they sold it as long as they did, um, it felt like, oh fuck, something screwed up.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I didn't see anybody throwing up X's. I really didn't see them whispering to the guys too much, which is something that I look for even more than because I think they've put the X into kayfabe now, so anything. But I feel like if they like really talk to the guys a lot, then maybe something didn't go the way I thought. So it was just the length that it went. And the fact that they actually got Seth up the ramp, I was like, oh god, they're really going to screw us out of this. But they built up. I mean, just like everything else in the early going, this worked great because Ambrose came off looking like a fucking crazy person who doesn't care if he hurts himself as long as he got back at Rollins.
Right.
So.
And then Mercury and Noble, again, they're doing the best work of their careers.
Yeah. That's funny, but it's true. God love those guys.
Like,
And for a while there, you had a bunch of like ROH CZW guys up there feuding. I mean, you had, it is absolutely the smart mark in me that's been watching like indie wrestling and shit for the last 10 years. It's ludicrous to think that the main event of a WWE pay-per-view was fucking John Moxley versus Tyler Black with James Gibson running around in there. I mean, God bless them. I mean, that's awesome. Yes, long live the New Stooges, though.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. Ambrose takes an ice pick once they're actually back in the cage. Ambrose beats the shit out of Rollins with a chair, and then grabs an ice pick. They're calling it a screwdriver, but that was an ice pick.
Yeah.
And tries to kill Rollins with it. That was this was perfect violence. Perfect violence. It wasn't a very very fast paced kind of violence. It was very methodical.
Hmm.
But this was perfect. The perfect storytelling in this match.
Yep, I agree. I mean, this was it's what it should have been, which was, and it was paced right because it was mostly Ambrose kicking the shit out of Rollins, which is what you want. That's the tale as old as time. I mean, he's getting revenge for the betrayal. And even that spot where he sits down backwards on the chair, I forget exactly what he said, but he was like, this is what you get, man.
Oh no,
You
you
broke,
stabbed me in the
you
back.
broke my fucking heart. This is what you get.
Because you stabbed me in the back, you son of a
Yep,
bitch.
yep. God, I mean, talk about a guy who gets the little stuff, and I mean, the announcers don't help because they're just screaming about how he's crazy. But
Yeah, like
you don't need. You
this.
just need to block them out for this because both of these guys sold exactly what the story merited at this point.
So last night there was a UFC pay-per-view, and I kind of said something similar during one of the matches where the announcers weren't actually talking about one of the fights, like at
Hmm.
all during the fight. It was not a good fight, so it was insanely boring. But Brian Stan and Mike Goldberg were not talking about what was going on inside of the cage, and I know this because I was reading comic books and was just listening to the sound in the background. And like if you're listening to like a hockey play-by-play or like any sort of sport play-by-play, there's a play-by-play,
Yeah.
and there wasn't any for like 4 straight minutes, and that's what it felt like tonight during this match. Like you don't have to be Jim Ross and being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, but like you at least gotta like tell something besides Dean Ambrose is out of his mind.
Yep. No, you're part of the, especially in something scripted like this. You're part of the story. You can't just go off on fucking tangents, and that's why it's important in a boxing match or an MMA fight, or I mean, like a football game or a baseball game. There's a lot of downtime, but there's not any downtime in a wrestling match or a UFC fight. I mean, you're supposed to be telling us what you're seeing and what you're thinking about what you're seeing, not fucking bullshitting, even if it's Orton Cena 500 or whatever else, or a couple of guys just doing rest holds. But yeah,
Anyway, we
it's
got we got a an Ambrose elbow drop through a table, and that was nasty, super nasty. And then Kane appeared and hit blasts Ambrose with a fire extinguisher, and that was as much as Kane got involved. And so I'm not happy Kane got involved, but at least that was as much as he did.
it was fun. I mean, the fire extinguisher spot's funny. I mean, they. I mean, I think this was sort of like teasing the Henry heel turn. It was like, here's you're afraid that we were gonna come in and schmoz this with authority guys, so we'll bring them down here and make you worried about that, which was just misdirection. But yeah, I mean, I liked that there was. I liked all the plunder, all the JBL kept calling them toys, but I mean he went through. I mean this feud's been all about that. It's all been all about props and stuff like that. I mean right down to when Ambrose went to get the cinder blocks. All of that stuff came back into play. They were doing great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a curb stomp, but Ambrose kicked out.
Everybody was kicking out of finishers all night tonight.
Oh yeah.
Miz and Sheamus kicked out of finishers. So Cena and Orton kicked out of finishers. Yeah.
We got Ambrose setting up the dirty deeds, but Rollins did a Izugari,
Hmm.
and then a drop kick, which led to Ambrose's rebound clothesline, which was like Rollins knows how to sell that, like he gets murdered.
Yeah.
Like that was perfect. Ambrose, and then this is where the match goes to shit. Ambrose grabs two cinder blocks and wants to curb stomp Rollins, and then the screen goes black. And I actually thought that something got fucked up at first.
No, I think I knew what it was as soon as it happened. The timing of it was too, yeah. So it was.
This is where they ruined the match. It was a great match. It was a great match, and then they ruined it.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, as far as this match goes, I am frustrated that I feel like this match and the amount of work that these guys put into it deserve better. I'm not ready to shit all over it yet because I don't. One, because I feel like I'm invested in Ambrose versus Rollins for. I mean, these guys can feud forever, and I'm okay with that. The story merits it. They work well enough together, so I don't feel like we're never going to get the end of this story, or even if we aren't ever going to get it, I feel like it's going to keep being a story. So I'm okay with that. I don't know. I mean, it'll depend. I need to have a better explanation for it tomorrow night than just like what we usually get out of Wyatt stuff, which
Right.
is him cutting a cool sounding promo that doesn't tie anything together. Or, I mean, this is a great chance to bring in the Kane stuff from last year and the whole Devil Made Me Do It and Kane coming back with the mask. You could really tie this in maybe an interesting way that moves the story forward. I don't know if they will. I don't have a lot of faith because they never do, but they could go there, and then we could still get Rollins Ambrose at Mania. So that's where I'm conflicted. I'm
Yeah,
not happy, but I'm not like furious.
I'm not happy about it. I mean, the big thing for me is that the Hell in a Cell is supposed to be like the definitive end to a blood feud,
Yep.
and we didn't get that. I'm not happy because they it was stupid. Like Bray Wyatt has no reason to, yeah, you're saying, oh, the devil made me do it, but he has no reason to get involved. You know, like the only thing that we've been seeing of Bray Wyatt is that like I'm putting together a new family. That's been his entire storyline right now.
Well, we don't even know what that is. I mean, we assume that's sort of what those. We don't have anything. We have he disappeared, and we've got some cool sounding video promos that we don't know what they mean.
Right. I I'm I would have rather they just finish the storyline right now and put it on ice, and let them go their separate ways for a little bit than what they did tonight. Because one, with that with the fog machine and the holograph, and the holographic image,
Yeah, the hologram. Yeah.
like, do you watch like the WWE like countdown show on the network?
Yeah.
Dumbest things that WCW's ever
Right.
done.
Yeah.
Dude, if that shit was in WCW, they'd be making fun of it so much right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is a case of the WWE not being able to get out of its own way. They think like, oh no, like we're setting up a new feud. Fucking let somebody get a pin first. Like, finish the match as it's supposed to be. And then, like, while Ambrose is celebrating or while Rollins is celebrating, screen goes black. And then Bray Wyatt's in the ring. Like, there's better ways to do it, and the better ways kind of just go like, oh wait, we got closure on something, instead of saying like, oh wait, Ambrose and Rollins still hate each other, but now Ambrose also hates Bray Wyatt, and because he's insane, he's gonna fight Bray Wyatt next. It's just stupid. Like, it's stupid to me.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I see why. I mean, because I'm assuming what we get out of this. I mean, we obviously get Ambrose Wyatt, which the only problem with me with that is that, I mean, I guess if you do it the way, if we get definitive closure tonight, they could have put Ambrose over Rollins clean, and then Ambrose could have done the job to Wyatt, and you build everybody. I don't know. I mean, because I guess we're gonna get Ambrose Wyatt, and I assume we're gonna get Rollins Orton at some point, because we're getting Lesnar Cena again. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, the problem that they have is that the story never ends. So we want some closure, but there's never going to be that. It's the same problem that soap operas and comic books and everything else have. I mean, so yeah, it was cheesy. I don't know. I'm like I said, I can't make myself care enough to be like totally pissed off. I thought it was okay. We'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to tap dance on the fence. I'm not even convincing myself, but
Mm. Anyway, Sean, any other thoughts on the card tonight?
I mean, I still really liked it. I mean, I still really like this match. Even,
No,
yeah,
here's the
yeah.
but
They don't take any of that away from. I mean, we still get like the sick ass elbow through the table. I mean, that spot looked. For Rollins to take that bump after he took the other bump, that's crazy. So that's why. I mean, I
here's
don't
the
know,
thing. I'm
man.
not shitting on the match.
I know you're
I'm
not.
just
I know you're not.
I'm just disappointed in what's going on. You know, like I'm just disappointed that the match ended how it did because of what it was beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, like it was a great match, and now it's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I, I mean, one thing that I didn't realize until we even started talking about this tonight is how close we really are to Mania in terms of however many shows are left. So they got to start setting the table for that, and I kind of think this was the beginning of that tonight. So, I mean, if it gets us to the right couple of matches with the right feuds, I don't know. I mean, they need to. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they need to stop trying to protect everybody. It's like we were talking about earlier. I mean, the fact that there is nothing. The mid card is really thin. The tag division is non-existent. They don't have enhancement talent, so they're afraid to let any of these main eventers go over each other. Everybody's got to be protected, and
by
it
doing
ends up being completely.
and
You
by
end up with
doing
the
that
ludicrous stuff.
nobody's protected because like people have to win and lose. That's what wrestling's all about. Is that people need to win and lose, and when people aren't winning or losing, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you never let them win or lose. I mean, it's okay to tease things out longer, but yeah, when there's never resolution, that's a problem.
No, because then all it is just like, oh, like that. Like, yeah, we laugh about the lol like LOL Cena wins, but like at least he's winning.
Right.
At least there's like a clean pin in that match. You know, like at least there's real there's a real ending there. There's not that with this match, and I get it. You want to have Ambrose, Rollins, and Bray Wyatt in the main event scene this year or next year or whatever, but like you have to like it's okay to have them lose. That's fine. I just don't want to have them lose over and over and over and over and over again and look weak in the process. I'm cool if Bray Wyatt loses to John Cena. That's fine. I just don't want him to lose to John Cena and get squashed by John Cena.
Right.
Let him beat the shit out of John Cena and John Cena wins with a schoolboy. That's fine. Everybody looks good in that situation.
Well, that's yeah,
What do I know? I'm just a fan that watches wrestling.
exactly. And you won't be watching tomorrow night because you'll be trying to watch your 6-1 Cowboys beat their hated rivals.
I don't even know how this is happening, and that's why I'm also not talking about football anymore.
Yeah, all right, I don't want to jinx anything for you.
I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. So I'm just like, no, like the Cowboys are playing football, man. So
Yeah, so I mean for me, I guess my bottom line is good show, weird ending, and I know I say it all the time, but it depends on what they do with it. I think they're probably going to fuck it up and give us some bullshit explanation or no explanation, or Bray will have kids come out and sing with him tomorrow and speak in tongues and whatever, but maybe they'll try something different. I don't know.
anyway, guys, I'm tired.
Yeah, I got to write something for tomorrow, and I take some more Theraflu. Really get my buzz on.
Sean's tired. I'm tired. Jesus wept. Thank you.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.